Bazow. As Colin's fiddling with his microphone.
Not that you could see my in-your-face Cthulhu anyway.
Well, you can see the eyes.
True.
The eyes
just so short.
Do I need to get you a booster seat?
Sure.
In your booster seat, Sandy.
Mm-hmm. Does that give me superpowers or something?
The power to boost you.
How do you feel on a scale of 0 to unconscious?
Oh, those were from our D&D game.
Okay.
Where, like, almost everybody got knocked out.
Doug gets a throat full of...
I think that was supposed to be Chanel number 5.
Oh, is that a channel number 5? I'm like, what is...
It's Mambo number 5.
I'm amazed I can actually read that. Like, it's hard. It's kind of blurry a little bit.
You know it's also right in front of you there, too, right?
Oh, my gosh. I forgot that. It's just because the black on white and it's far away like that. I guess it's kind of pixelated. Not really.
I have it turned there mainly so I can watch that little green box in the corner.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we are still
because I'm trying to think like
button.
Yeah.
My vision, maybe it is getting, because I can read Blood Bowl, but it's a little blurry. Oh man, I need a new prescription.
What are you?
You're supposed to check it every day, or not every day, every year.
Yeah. Yeah. My left eye is bad again.
What are you trying to read?
Blood Bowl.
All the way in the top corner.
And like Legend of the Five. Yeah, it's my left eye. I wonder if it's catching up to my right. My left eye has a lower prescription than my right. Well, no, hold on. That one's blurry now.
Board games? Yes, please.
Oh, my comment, yeah. No, you know what? I think it was just my eyes. I think it was just they were, like, crazy.
Where's Blood Bowl?
It's on the top of the shelf, up by Twilight
I
Imperium.
said in the top left corner.
I heard top right for some reason. And I was looking on the actual shelves.
Well, that's where you messed up, because that box is too long to fit.
Well, I don't know Blood Bowl. It has minis, so it sucks.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't have anyone here to share my feelings with. Mr. Kitty, you believe me, don't you?
Just so you know, my saying it sucks is opinion. I'll let you know when it sucks means fact.
Like that means if you've ever played it.
Does that mean like my jokes when they suck, it's fact?
It's more like I'm talking about vacuum cleaners, but I can work that in there too.
I can definitely see why you like it. Okay, sorry, I was just pulling up a lot of. I was letting anybody filter into the chat room, and also pulling up a lot of stuff to reference.
Let us know if you're there.
Let us know if you're not. Oh,
no one's watching us.
Matt was like, "Oh, I'm at work."
He was gonna watch on Wednesday.
Yeah, he told me, he's like, I'm ready to get cozy.
Walks.
He hasn't watched in a few weeks, though.
He stopped in for a little bit, our last recording.
He usually comes in like right as the game show starts.
Sometimes.
I'm here.
All right. Why is a note back there? There we go. Okay. I am ready if y'all are ready.
I am ready.
Ready.
Okay. Voice crack there, obviously, right when. Start the show in 3, 2, 1. This podcast is brought to you thanks to all our patrons at patreon.com/boardsandswords. Live from Swordplay Studios, it's time for Boards and Swords.
Now with more hair.
Is that because Philip's not here?
Oh, yeah, that works too.
The average hair has gone up.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Philip. He'll never listen to this to know we're talking about him.
Yeah. That's right. This is Boards and Swords. This is a podcast where we have fun talking about tabletop gaming. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chris Renshaw.
I am Colin, the hair comment person.
Oh my gosh.
You know, sometimes
And-
you're on and sometimes you're off.
Nah.
And I am Cindy, the person here who has the most hair.
I don't know. Are we including facial hair? Because
I still have more hair
that's
than
true.
you.
Now it seems
I don't
like
know. Are we
need to run
talking like all body
No.
hair?
I think we need to have full body
Gross.
shave contest.
No!
Put the
That's-
piles side by
no!
side.
That's disgusting. Ew.
I don't know. I didn't bring it up. It's just
I'm ready for swimming.
Head. I was talking about head hair.
Oh, head hair.
Yes.
Okay.
And Philip's not here. He's busy working
Bless
because
his
it's a
heart.
Saturday morning. And yeah. You know, I've been podcasting for Philip for about 8 years now, if I can finally get a sentence out and not stumble. And I don't think he's ever listened to a single podcast.
Oh my gosh. That's so
I
funny.
mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, I don't know.
So how's it going, everyone?
Good. My head hurts.
My back hurts.
Yeah, but doing pretty good. Played some games recently. It was
We
good.
have, yeah.
Yeah.
We've actually played last night for a little while. We played one game like 5 times.
Yeah. One we'll be talking about in a little bit.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
No, you don't say. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. All right. Honestly, I've not been playing too many games because I've been doing a bunch of
Life
Other
stuff.
life
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, which hopefully March will be a lot better for.
Mm.
Yeah. We
that-
haven't actually played that much in March yet, although we're only a weekend, so.
Yeah, man, it's March.
March
Yeah,
4th.
already.
Yeah,
Just kidding. That was a few days
I was
ago.
gonna say it's not.
That
the
was a
4th.
few days ago.
Oh, because the original episode was supposed to be on. Yeah,
Yeah.
the recording. Yeah, it's only like a month away from us doing our top 10s for this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually,
I've
it's probably like an episode or two because I don't know when we want to do the air versus
true.
stream.
I did a preliminary thing for that, and I was a little surprised.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm actually re-listening to some of the old ones because I want to know if I've had predictions in the past about how games would move up and down.
Mm.
And I
Oh,
want to see if
yeah.
that came true.
Yeah. I have one game that I know is skyrocketed to the top. I'm sure Colin knows what I'm talking about.
Yep, it's
I think everyone knows that listens to this.
Arkham Horror the card game. We all-
Absolutely.
There is now a Western themed deck that you can incorporate in.
Oh,
And that's why it's
oh. See, I
skyrocketed?
would
No,
have
I'm just
thought
kidding.
like Clank Legacy, but
Oh.
because I mean,
No,
you
I was just
haven't-
saying that's the reason we would love Arkham Horror the card game. is
Oh,
if you
okay.
work that in there.
Maybe.
Hey, you know. Anyways, shout out to Matt who's watching in the chat.
Hey.
Who probably won't hear this shout out because he's watching with the volume off. That's what headphones are for.
I think I need to be concerned about Matt, maybe. I don't know. He says in the chat room he can't hear anything, but as always, seeing Colin is a true treat. And so I'm like, okay.
We just need closed caption. I just need somebody to be
Oh,
typing
yeah.
everything
Oh,
we
yeah.
say.
That'd be amazing.
Turn on the subtitles.
I had to turn the subtitles on at the TV at work because somebody said we should have the TV on so we can watch the news all day. And I'm like, oh, really?
That sounds like the
And-
worst thing ever.
It's right by my desk. It is the worst thing ever. So I'm like, I am not listening to this all day. So I figured out how to turn captions on because we don't have a remote. And so I'm like going through all the options and hitting all these buttons. I'm like, yes, got captions.
It would be a dream for me if you could have the Weather Channel on all day. I'd be like, ba-da-da-da-da-da.
yeah.
Local on the 8th, yes.
So, anyways, want to talk some news?
Yeah.
So, one added bit of news piece that I didn't make a joke for, but it was important enough between when we were originally going to record this and today that it was worth bringing up, and that
Right.
is that the due to all the coronavirus stuff, that CMON has canceled the Come On Expo for this
Oh
year.
my gosh.
Yeah, that's kind of a sad thing.
Yeah, and they already canceled GDC, the Game Developers Conference. Which,
Oh, really?
And I know that a lot of people didn't go to Gamma. I think Gamma's going on right now or
No,
next
it's
week.
next week.
Yeah, I think a lot of companies are not sending as many people to Gamma as they usually do.
Hmm.
So, yeah, this virus is going to really affect gaming all over because like
It's going to affect our economy as a whole, I feel like.
very, very true. Chloe has a trip planned at the end of this month and we
Mhm.
were on the phone with the travel agency talking about what if scenarios, that sort
Yeah.
of thing, and they were telling us about how much it's impacted their industry. But like
Mhm.
board gamers, you brought up entitlement in the previous
I
thing.
did, yeah.
And people tend to get very picky when things don't come out when they're supposed to.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
And people don't realize that right now there is 0 board games being produced in China.
Well, because China is
Well, yeah, like
under like
like all the factories have been shut down.
yeah.
So like and this is so it's going to be like everybody like, which I'm trying to think like by the time that stuff that's being produced now gets on the boat, are we talking like Gen Con Christmas time frame? Like the quarter 3, quarter 4 of the year?
Yeah, who knows?
That's
Yeah,
gonna suck.
If nothing is coming over on a boat, that's it. It's like a month for stuff to get from China over to a port in
Right.
the U.S.
Yeah.
I'm saying if something's in production now, like
Or was
when would they
before
be
this.
when would they be being released if it's in production right now?
Yeah.
Probably quarter 3, quarter 4.
I
would
wonder
think.
if this is screwing up a lot of companies' predictions for when their games are coming out. Like, like all these games that are supposed to be coming out, first, even second, well, because we're almost out of the first quarter now.
Yeah.
But second quarter, like, are they gonna? They probably won't have their games.
Well, prediction time about this subject is like, does that mean there's going to be more releases at PAX Unplugged than there is at Gen Con?
Oh.
I don't know, because I have a feeling that like, see, this is where it gets kind of tricky because some of that stuff should be starting to come. Well, like Origin stuff should be like on the boat, kind of, sort of, depending. I don't know. I don't know
I
enough
don't know
about
the
the timeline
timelines.
in that, but it's possible. Yeah, or people be spending more money airfaring stuff over,
Yeah.
assuming stuff gets sorted out by then.
Or there's going to
This
be a
is
lot more hiccups in production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, you're going to have companies that can't afford to wait that are going to shut down. So, like if obviously like the
smaller
Asthma
companies.
days are going to be fine, but like smaller companies that have a couple of employees that depend on those sales to keep the company afloat.
Yeah.
That's really bad. I didn't think about it in
Yeah.
that aspect. Wow. I mean, and that's a global thing, not even just affecting our U.S. economy in terms of people not going out to events and stuff.
I have a feeling if anything you're going to see a bigger push for other factories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like normally it doesn't happen because nobody else can compete with the
Chinese.
Chinese labor,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like you're going to see
Well, I mean, if they're losing so much money
Right.
because they're not getting their games produced, then
you're going to see people making
Yeah.
that balance of, well, the customer will just pay more for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's interesting.
So,
Yeah.
Huh.
how about we get into some funny news?
Yeah. Well, no, sorry. I
Some
just,
non-depressing news.
I just had, sorry, I'm making connections in my head as I'm thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the largest card manufacturers is Cardamundi. And they're a European-based card manufacturer.
Okay.
They last year bought the United States playing card company.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that might get levied. Because normally, like I said, they're usually making playing cards, but they also make high-quality playing cards. Like, usually the U.S. playing card company is touted as one of the best playing card company
Yeah.
manufacturers. Wonder if Cardamundi then takes that and uses that for board games.
Interesting.
I could see it.
I'm just connecting random two pieces of information
I mean,
in
a
my
lot
brain.
of board games do have cards, so
Yeah.
that could work.
So, anyways, let's talk about some funny news, or not funny news, depending on who you think. First up, we have, based on Betrayal at House on the Hill, we have Betrayal at Mystery Manor.
Ooh.
It's a new version of the game where you play as the Scooby-Doo crew as they roam around the mansion gathering clues. Just as in the original game, one player will switch and become the monster. Then you pull off the plastic mask and you discover you got swindled into playing yet another Betrayal game.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious about that. I was like, that kind of breaks the theme a little bit because, I mean, it's saying one of the Mystery Machine or Mystery Inc. gang is going to be the bad guy.
Depends. They could also do it where just they don't play that character anymore. They play the monster character.
But then what happens to their character?
Well, maybe they get like, like they get captured.
I'm just saying it's a little bit more of a stretch to make that.
I mean, all
happen.
you could have to do is they don't play that character and the rest of the team plays that character for now.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
That like, okay, they're now controlling this figure and everybody else votes on how to move that person.
That would work.
That's my first kind of thought. Or the easiest way would just be you remove that mini from the game and you put down the monster mini instead.
Mm-hmm. But I was like thematically, like what happened there? Shaggy is now the monster. Like
Well, no,
Shaggy,
yeah.
I was like, I would have gotten away with it. Zoinks.
All right, next up, Plaid Hat Games has announced that original owner Colby has repurchased the studio away from Asmodee.
Oh right, yeah.
While games like Dead of Winter and Mice and Mystics have remained with Asmodee, the next Crossroads game, Forgotten Waters, will be Plaid Hat's first game as an independent company again.
Wow.
This whole situation sounds like a bad game of Dead of Winter. Plaid Hat didn't want to donate any goods. They got exiled from the group.
Oh my gosh.
Got him!
Oh my gosh.
That's actually interesting because I was talking to someone that of all the acquisitions that Asmodee did, I feel like Plaid Hat got shafted by the whole group. Like, I feel like the Asmodee acquisition hurt Plaid Hat more than anything. Because there was a lot of, like, titles that didn't get the treatment that they should have and some overlap where a bunch of other, like, high-profile Asmodee products came out at the same time as Plaid Hat titles, so the other products kind of took priority because they're like Fantasy Flight stuff and
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are you talking about like things like Ashes or?
well, there was Ashes that got royally taken, but also things like Gen Con 2018, Plaid Hat releases Guardians, which is a 1v1 dueling game.
I hadn't even heard of that one.
You hadn't because they were going to put out the first wave of expansions got canceled and the game got shelved basically because at Gen Con 2018, Fantasy Flight Games announces Keyforge. And all the attention that Guardians could have had, those people were more focused on Keyforge. So there was like no interest in Guardians at that point. So that's sort of like timing and overlaps kind of got impacted.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you guys can tune out for a second. Wizards of the Coast announced that in June we'll be getting the Mystical Odysseys of Theros, a source book for D&D. This is another world that started off in Magic the Gathering. Theros was a world that took a lot of inspiration from old mythologies like Greek and Roman. In fact, the only thing more mythological than this setting is Colin and Cindy's interest in it. All right. Next, we have several members of Congress have created the Shop Safe Act, which would be a huge benefit to board game fans. The bill would force websites like Amazon to crack down on counterfeit products through a variety of ways, such as like watermarking and that sort of thing. One congressperson was really excited for the bill until they realized that it wasn't about customers buying more safes. The Shop Safe Act.
Oh. Sorry. I missed what the... Okay. That's funny. Now that I am still aware of the title of the bill or whatever.
I should have just said was really excited for the Shop Safe Act until they realized.
Yeah.
Last up, Chronicles of Crime, the Millennium series, is a set of 3 standalone games in the Crime Deduction series that's now up on Kickstarter. Backers can select from a game set in 1400, 1900, or 2400, or they can back any combination of the 3, and there's supposed to be different thematic components to each of the things.
Yeah, I saw this on Kickstarter.
Yeah. These 3 options, 1400, 1900, 2400, also sound like how much money people are going to be spending on Kickstarter this year.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Although, March, it's going to be bad.
Wait, what's coming out for y'all in March?
Well, I mean, not necessarily things that we're definitely booking, but there's things coming out that we're interested in at least looking at. So the Cinder Kickstarter just ended. Yes.
Yeah.
This morning?
It was
No, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
We have Tumbletown, which is currently
Is that based on
active.
tumbling dice?
No, it is dice.
It's dice.
It's a
You're
Western
building a
theme.
Western town
Oh.
with dice.
It's an engine builder.
So we have those two that are definitely, obviously, we're definitely backing that are closing in March. Then we have a couple that are, I know the new Trekking the World game is coming to Kickstarter sometime soon.
Yeah.
I think it's
there's,
in a week
There's another
or
one that
so.
I'm looking at that launches on the 10th.
Is that the Age of Sail one?
Yeah. Salt and Sail.
Well, and then there's at least two more that are launching in March. I can't think of what they are at the moment.
But anyway, so
Yeah. So it's like, oh no, come on Kickstarter. And then the new Western Legends expansion is supposedly launching in
early April.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this year for us, it's so bad. So bad.
I was just like, yeah. I was like, are you that excited for Frosthaven coming out later this month?
No, I don't know. I don't care.
I'll
it's-
play it,
It's
but
it's Ankh. Yeah, that's what you're really excited
Yes,
about.
it's
Yeah,
Ankh.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Seam on Kickstarter.
yeah,
What's that?
yeah. yeah,
It's like
that's
I
all,
said,
that's all
come
I
on,
have.
you need to back this Kickstarter.
That's all I have is come on games. Yeah,
It's our whole collection.
everything.
Should be.
If Simon came out with a Western game, I'd be into it.
I keep saying you could retheme Blood Rage as Western pretty good.
Yeah. you
I'm
could.
just sitting here trying to think if there has been a Western, because I probably wouldn't have paid attention if it was. So that's why I'm trying to think.
I don't know why we're so obsessed with Western games.
Probably because I'm so opposed to them.
No, it has nothing. No.
I mean, that does fuel it a little bit, I'm sure.
What? I don't think so. I think we just like that. I don't know. Like we're really big into like the West, you know, like the desert and the mountains and all that. And so I think because that theming appeals to us because we like that in real life too. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm sure if it was about dessert, I would be more into it than desert.
There are some dessert games. There
But
are.
Western dessert games?
You could do like a play
No.
on words, like
Yeah.
it's like you spell out dessert like with two S's, and you have like one of the S's crossed out, and
Yeah.
it's like dessert in the desert.
Oh,
Mm.
yum.
There's an idea. Someone run with
Starting an ice cream
Yeah,
shop
Matt-
in the desert.
We just gave Matt an idea, and he won't even hear it.
that. Yeah.
You also got what's this about trekking the world?
Oh, yeah. So apparently the Underdog Games, who has now taken over the Trekking the National Parks
Yeah.
name or game, I guess, they're coming up with a new game. I guess it's already been developed.
They've been
'cause they're going to
developing it for
Kickstarter.
6 years, they say.
Yeah,
Oh.
but they're coming out with a new game called Trekking the World. And I don't know too much about it yet, but the artwork looks really pretty from what I've seen.
You're
So, and I'm assuming
visiting
it's
landmarks
similar.
around the world.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have no idea if it's going to
I told Ashley she needed to talk to y'all about how trekking the national parks plays, because she actually sent me a picture of the trekking the world and was like, do you know anything about this? I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
I know that it's made by the same people that do trekking the national parks, but I
Yeah.
don't know anything about that game.
I don't know whether it's going to play the same or not. I have no idea.
I
I'm
imagine
pretty
it would
sure
be
it's going to
similar.
be.
I think it's going to be similar
It's probably going to be a step up. Like
that's cool.
in
in
like-
complexity.
yeah, go
Yeah,
from a
but it's a little disappointing because they changed the Trekking the National Parks game when Underdog Games took it over,
Mm-hmm.
and
there's the second edition.
the second edition came out last year. I think it was.
And
It
you all
was
chose not
early
to get
last
that.
year. We did choose not to get that because we had the first edition of Trekking the National Parks. And I mean, the things that they changed aren't necessarily bad, but I think we just have a sentimental place in our heart for how the first edition works.
Yeah, because they took some stuff out and added other things in.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, that other stuff seems cool, but we like the way the stuff they took out works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what they do with Trekking the World.
Just like how Bryce can't get past Arkham Horror Second Edition. He thinks it's like the greatest thing ever. And I'm like, there's been so many improvements on that game.
Oh, with the third edition.
Well,
yeah.
the third
And
edition
Eldritch
and the
Horror.
card
Oh,
and
the
card
card
game.
game, yeah.
He keeps giving me crap every time we're there playing the card game. Like I'm like, no, we actually like playing within a couple hours.
Nah. Yeah.
Okay, but it's time for some reviews. You guys, I'll let you guys go up first.
So, first off, we have a game from Genius Games It's funny. We're doing genius games and brain games.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
But so we have Ion, a compound building game.
That's a little catch slogan thingy it's got on here.
And so what you do, and this is a
Hold
card.
on. Sorry, I got to jut in because didn't they also do a game called Compounded?
Compound.
No, compounded. Yeah.
Oh, they did?
Uh,
I don't know.
was it them?
I'll look it up.
I don't know.
So I thought it was a funny catch. If so, sorry. Continue.
So we'll come back to that. But an Ion is a card drafting game. Each person has a hand of cards. You're going to be taking a card from that hand, passing them, and you keep getting more and more cards until you have 2 left, and you toss the other 2 away.
No, it was Dice Hate Me.
Yeah, that's I was thinking that's another like chemistry game, but yeah. They do. Genius Games does have several chemistry games.
That's why because there's like cytosis and
well, that's biology, but
but like science really.
They have a new one called Periodic that came out last year.
And we have another one from them called Covalence. We'll be talking about in the future. So yeah, you're drafting cards in this, building up compounds. And what you are doing to do that, each card has a charge on it, either a plus or a minus.
Based on what the element is. So
hydrogen has a plus charge to it. And you'll have like chloride, which has a negative charge. And so if I were to draft a hydrogen, I lay that down in front of me. I later draft a chloride. I can pair that with the hydrogen to bond it and balance out the compound, or I can play it by itself and bond it with something else on a future turn. Once you bond it, it's down. It like you can't unbond or bond stuff that you put down separately. And
does it do? Sorry, science brain kicking in here. Is it only like a single plus and like a single minus?
Yeah. Well, there are some that have two plus,
right, and
2 minus. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, because I'm, obviously there's like the way the bonds work, where
Yeah, there are some things in here.
Sometimes you have like H2O, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some things in here that have multiple positives or negatives with it, and if that's the case, you have to have the same number of the opposite charge,
right,
and but the opposite charge has to be all the same same element too.
Gotcha.
So like if you need 2 negatives, you could have 2 fluorides, but they have to be the same.
And you mentioned water, H2O. There are hydroxide cards in this. So if you have a hydrogen and a hydroxide, so you are doing this in. There's also noble gases, so they don't have a charge, so they're just by themselves. But if you can build up a set, if you have
that's a collection.
Different, if you have all 3 of different noble gases that are in the game, you get 9 points. If you only have 2, 5, and only 1 is 2 points. So they're their own thing.
Then you have the polyatomic ions.
Yeah, that's another part of the game. They have polyatomic ion cards that there's only 1 of each of those, and so you can't really match multiples of those.
Those are fun. Because that you need multiples of the other things, which is great. It's hard.
And so at the end of the round, you get points for the completed compounds that you've made. There's numbers on the cards that represent the points that you get, and incomplete ones just go away. They're not worth anything. So you can get kind of screwed out of stuff if people see what you're going for.
Like you do to me.
And also, in the middle of the table, there's going to be 3 cards that say you can get extra points for making these compounds.
They're kind of like gold cards.
Yeah. And
that's what it says, 9 gold cards. I just see that.
And each round, those will refresh. Like, you'll reshuffle and deal out 3 more. And you do 3 rounds, and at the end of the 3 rounds, you see who has the most points.
So is it possible you could get the same gold card?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you really, like,
I didn't shuffling everything.
I didn't know if
together.
You'll each, because you said 3 cards, 3 rounds. I didn't know.
Yeah, you could do it
that
way if you want to see everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you're supposed to do is you shuffle them back in and then deal them out. And there's actually multiple levels to this game. Like there's the basic game, which has just the normal elements and the noble gases and the goal cards. It's pretty easy to follow, and then you can add in the polyatomic ions and
the
these
transition metals.
And transition metals and these tiles that are in front of you that allow you extra powers. So there's a tile that lets you take 2 cards instead of just 1. So you flip that tile over, you take a card from the deck to replace the extra one that you pulled out and when you pass it. So it's still a proper hand. And in that level, there's going to be a row of 4 cards in the middle. The two other tiles that you have, one is take from center. So in addition to the one that you pull from the hand, you can take one from the middle of the table. And that doesn't refill until the next round.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, I don't know what it stands for, it's RXN.
I don't know what it stands for either.
That's my lack of science knowledge. But looking it up, but that allows you to choose from the discarded pile of cards at the end of the round and whatever's left in the middle. And then...
Oh, reaction.
I thought it was reaction. It was just a weird way of typing.
I typed in science RXN meaning.
Nice.
And then at the very high end, like you can have kind of a push your luck thing. This part requires 3 or more players, so we only got to play with this once. But you have the radioactive elements, and so if you pull a radioactive element from the hand, and when you reveal, if multiple people have revealed that, depending on how many,
the same element.
Yeah, the same element. So I think one of them was like uranium. Like if I reveal a uranium, and Cindy reveals a uranium, we have to turn them 90 degrees, and they're worth less points.
Aren't they negative?
If there's enough that get turned over, they're worth negative.
Oh, okay.
See, I would do all of them explode. Nobody gets points because it starts a fusion or fission.
But at the end of the game, the person that has the most will get a certain amount of points. Second most will get a certain amount of points, and then the person who has the least amount actually loses points.
Right.
So it's like the puddings in Sushi
I was going to say
Go.
this whole game reminds me of a science Sushi Go.
I could see that
from your description.
Yeah, I mean with you combining and making compounds, that's a little bit different than Sushi Go in terms of.
Well, I'm just saying
because that's just set collection.
The set collection aspect, a set collection drafting game, for instance.
Yeah, the thing it adds from the Sushi Go thing is those gold cards in the middle, and also, excuse me, the science aspect of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a considerable amount about chemistry. It was where the science. I don't know a lot, but I know a decent amount.
Yeah.
I'm just reminded of that Spider-Man being. It was I happen to be somewhat of a scientist myself. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but it's funny.
You haven't seen that?
Yeah, I was very good at chemistry in high school, but it was 15 years ago, 16. Oh my gosh, I'm old.
We don't have to say how long ago it was.
It was a long time ago that I last took chemistry.
We don't have to talk about it.
Gosh, it was 18 years ago that I last took chemistry, guys.
Okay.
Holy cow. Sorry.
That one. Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did not remember hardly anything.
So
this game was very informative.
Something that's cool is I actually found myself accidentally learning stuff.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. I loved it.
The gold cards are situated in different things. You have the natural earth metals and other things. What's on the back of the box there?
Well, this one just says noble gases and something alkaline bases.
Yeah, alkali metals. I know that's one.
Oh yeah, alkaline metal bases.
And so there's information on what those kind of compounds are used for as well.
I know, it's informative. There's something it talks about for the noble gases. It's these are used in signs and things like neon and all. I'm what? This is so cool. Odorless, colorless, something. I don't know. I can't even read it. It's too tiny.
Wait, what was used in signs?
Well, neon is a gas. That's why.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were surprised that Neon was in Neon.
No, I knew that.
Signs.
No, I knew that. But I'm just saying.
That's just the card
it
that you can
talks-
easily
I know,
see
I
on the.
know.
It just talks about what these things are used for.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
one.
No, I get it. You don't have to.
I'm curious because there's one that's about acids and bases or something to that effect. Oh, the cards are all like.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I like the design of this game.
Yes,
it looks really
it's really
good.
cool. It's so cool. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's one: alkali metal bases. So it's strong bases mixed with fats to make soap, used in the process to turn trees into paper, and also used in agriculture to correct soil pH. Like, I mean, it's informative. It's so cool.
Fight Club.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna request this game stay here because
It's really
Yeah.
pretty.
I want to try this with some of my regular.
I played it with someone at work, like with the basic level, and
Mhm.
she immediately went and bought it.
Nice.
Did she really?
Yeah.
That's
So
funny. We've been
I'm
playing
glad
this
you-
at my office.
I'm glad you opened this because something that's really kind of cool in this, like
Yeah.
in a lot of games, there isn't a score tracker. Oh, this does up to 7 players, by the way. It's 2 to
I
7.
saw that.
Yeah. So it fits that same, like, a big difference of player count, and it's not really that much difference in time.
No.
So something they have in this, they have a really, like, just a really thin score track. It just
Yeah.
sits on the table and you keep track of your score. A lot of games could easily put this kind of thing in their game, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I like that they did. It's
And the-
nothing fancy. It's just something to, you don't have to write down any numbers or anything like that, like you do in the original
Sushi
Sushi
Go.
Go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking, we were just playing Silver the other day, and that one has a scorecard on it, and you could easily do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way you're not wasting paper, having to rip them off, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like this game. I think it's very fun.
yeah, like I really want to play this with Jimmy and Corey.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're,
we
they
can-
lo- they love a lot of the Genius games. I think they have Cytosis. I think.
I want to play
okay.
Cytosis. I think that one is worker placement. No, wait, no. Am I thinking of the right one?
There's peptide. Which one's that?
Cytosis is a bigger box, right?
Yeah.
It's a normal size box.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I think that one's worker placement.
Isn't peptide one of theirs?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
That's about this size.
Oh, it's tiny. Okay. So yeah, what do you think? I really like this game.
I really like it. I think it's nice that it can go across a spectrum of different gaming levels too.
Mhm. Oh yeah, you can tailor it based on the skill level.
Yeah,
Or
I probably won't play without the extra action tiles.
oh
if
yeah,
it's
those
like-
are super.
If I'm not introducing it to
Those are
people.
nice. I want to play. Like we've played this a bunch 2-player, and it works well. But and we've played it like you said once at 3. But I want to introduce this to larger groups too, because I think it would be really fun having more cards to draft from.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was something that we ran into in our 2-player games sometime, or this is something we ran into in our 2-player games, is that, like, the last time we played, I had collected something. I was like, okay, I know there are 3 fluorides in the deck, and I was like, so I'm going to take this chance that I can get these 3 fluorides to balance out this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, one element that I'm putting down here. And then Colin took one of my 3 fluorides. I'm like, no! But if you have a larger amount of people playing, then there's more cards in. So you have.
So you might have more.
You
yeah.
have more of a chance to get what you need.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'd give Ion a couple of thumbs.
Just
Me too.
one thumb up to match with another.
Sorry, I'm warming my other hand. My
Well, no,
hands
is
are
it
cold.
you give a thumb up to match with her thumb
Yeah,
as well?
yeah.
So
yeah,
two,
it's like,
it's an Ion.
Oh my
it was-
God.
oh,
I
we're
was-
bonding.
We're
yes.
bonding.
We're
our
bonding.
thumbs.
That's what I was going.
You're so funny.
We
All
just,
right.
we just drove it. We
Ion.
drove it home.
Ion from Genius Games.
So before I get to my game, I just want to do a quick shout out to Matthew Thomas,
Oh, okay.
who I just want to say I go on all these like board game recommendation threads, and you'll occasionally see like every week or so somebody does a, hey, recommend me some podcasts,
Oh, okay.
and like it's always like the exact same 5. Like,
Oh yeah.
if you filter to the number of podcasts that get recommended, it's not even a bell curve. It's like a cliff where it's everybody talks about the same like 5 podcasts,
Yeah.
and then there's like a trail off of every other podcast that
Mhm.
occasionally gets mentioned. But Matthew recommended Boards and Swords, so he gets a shout out here in the
Awesome.
show because he's awesome.
That's cool.
So thanks, Matthew.
Spreading our love.
Yeah.
Or spreading the love for us. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, spreading our love. That just sounds wrong on a little
So look,
bit.
it's as easy as that to get a shout out is just to recommend us.
Yeah.
We're watching.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I did respond to his thing and said, "Hey, thanks for recommending."
Cool.
But so all right, as we haven't done the top 10 list yet, but as of this point, my stated number one favorite game of all time has been the game Scythe from Stonemaier Games. But I acknowledge that game can be a tad complex. not complex in the like weight, but just in the sheer stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's overwhelming when you first look at it.
It's a bear to teach.
Yeah, from what I've heard. But sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you want something smaller. So I have also my Little Scythe.
Woo! That game is so
The
cute.
emphasis you put on the words was pretty funny. My Little Scythe.
Yeah. Or as I taught it to Corey and them, and she called it Baby Scythe.
Oh,
It is such a cute looking game.
baby scythe.
Shut up.
I wasn't sure if that was what
None
she
of
was
that.
going for.
None of that.
Go on.
I like to call it, I think it's more of like cute Scythe.
Yeah, it is
It's
cute.
adorable.
Instead of like a World War I kind of steampunky world, this is it's a fantasy realm where you are competing in a series of competitions trying to earn favor of the world of Palm.
They're animals.
It kind of looks like it's like Daniel Tiger themed, honestly.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to nod my head like yes.
I only know because of my niece.
But it's a bunch of different critters. Like you got,
So cute.
basically just about every race that's in like Root is a cute little plastic figurine, and it's some decent.
Oh
like,
my gosh, that's
hardcore
heavy.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff in that box. I remember that.
Yeah, I would not venture too far because there's a lot of stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
the game
first,
trays.
it does come with a game trays insert. I want to mention that,
Oh
but
my
in this game,
goodness.
you are doing a bunch of challenges like you would in Scythe, but you're trying to get 4 trophies. And it's not the exact same kind of mechanics. There's a lot of differences.
You're making friends in this, aren't you?
Well, that's the thing. Instead of what's it called? It's not approval. It's not. I'm trying to think of the word it is in Scythe.
It's one of the tracks, right?
The one of the tracks.
Yeah.
It's not. I want to say popularity. There we go.
Okay.
There's a popularity track here. It's the friendship track, and the combat rating track is a pie track here because you don't fight. You have pie fights instead.
Nice.
Pie fight.
So the combat mechanic works very similar, where you take a card and choose how many pies you're going to use in your pie fight. But instead of a combat card, they have their magic spells instead. So a lot of the things have just like a cutesier version of. It's still a hex-based board. There's still like your player board has 3 sections, but instead of Scythe where it's got an upper action, a lower action, this one you have multiple actions, or some of the you have like move, move, seek, and make. And
Okay.
move only has 1 action, seek has 2, and make has 3 different things. So you just do 1 of each thing. But just like Scythe, you have to move to a different action.
Yeah, you can't do the
take
same thing. Yeah.
But in this, because there's multiple actions under certain columns, you could do the same ones. I just can't do the exact same thing.
Like
so
you
I
cover up a specific section?
Yes.
Okay.
Chris,
Hmm?
I need you to paint these.
Yeah, that's so it's on the, and Ashley said I need to paint them too.
It's
I'm
so
going to paint it. It was just more of trying to get this review out soon because Stonemeier's got some news coming up in regards. So they wanted they wanted these reviews out soon to kind of go alongside with some of that news. I don't know how much of it's public yet. That's why I have to be kind of guarded on. I think some of it is and
just
some of
gonna
it
cut it
isn't.
out.
So I don't know. So yes, these are going to get painted soon.
It's so adorable.
And I definitely you definitely need to play this because I think you will like
I
it.
think I will
What's
too.
the player count on
The
this?
player
2 to
count is
6, it
6,
says.
I believe.
Yeah.
I see there's an automa. So
Yes,
I wasn't
there is
sure
an
if it
automa
did
deck.
solo.
I don't know why you would play it solo.
Yeah,
What I think the automa deck might be better for is if you're doing 2-player.
it's the auto mounty. Well, it says here that the auto mounting rules found within are primarily intended for solo play. So
yeah, but the sorry, I have a cat terrified. So, but the problem, this isn't like a big, huge, meaty game. This is just a very casually kind of, because it was designed originally around playing with children. So that's where I'm saying, like, if you're playing by yourself, I don't know why you would have a solo.
It's your imaginary friends.
Yeah, well, if your kid's to the point where maybe they could play the game by themselves without any supervision, maybe if they're like 10-ish, maybe that's about the only situation I could see.
So you're saying if you're an adult, you wouldn't choose this to play
Probably
solo
not.
over other things? Oh, okay.
Probably not. That's what I'm saying. Like, as an adult, I don't see, like, the value in this is either playing it cutesy with other people or playing it with your children kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Not saying that there aren't people that are playing this solo. Just, like I said, I could see the Autonoma deck being more useful for the 2-player count. Just to
adding in
have
something
some
extra,
just adding a little bit extra variety. Because I played this with Ashley, and she liked it, but she didn't like playing it with me. Because it was great. So some of the other differences between this and Scythe is this has dice.
Oh.
Because in regular Scythe, the way that resources are made is each tile has a specific resource type on it, and when you take the generate, you produce the action or the resources on that spot. This doesn't have that. So what happens here is you roll dice and generate the resources that are on the dice.
Okay.
And they're colored, so like the red die, which produces only apples, has a bunch of apple symbols. The actual symbol of the apple will be like blue, so that means you're putting a apple in the blue area of the board anywhere.
Okay.
And if you put it on a hex where somebody else is, you get a friendship bonus. So
Nice.
Ashley was rolling and generating, and I'm like, hey, if you put that there, you get if you give it to me, you'll get a resource bonus, or you'll get a friendship bonus. She's like, oh, yeah, okay, and did that. And then it came to the last thing of the game, and I rolled and put the resources like as far away from her as possible.
Oh, my gosh.
I like that generating the resources based on dice. That kind of reminds me of a game we played recently. It was City of Gears.
Oh, yeah.
Because you roll dice and, like, yeah, it shows you what resources you have to work with that round.
It also makes it easier to boost that friendship level up, because you can just sit there and just generate and it also helps in that it's kind of weird, because like when you get like one person stockpiling a bunch of resources, you're almost for a second you're like, crap, everyone's going to come after me. And then there's almost not really an incentive to, because yeah, sure, they could get all those resources, but sometimes it's a lot of effort to get to that person, depending on your player count. It's like, yeah, but I'm going to have to waste a lot of movements getting towards them, and I'd be better off boosting my other tracks to try, because game ends when, or the game ends when someone gets 4 trophies, and then everybody has one last turn to gain trophies.
Okay.
And if whoever has the most trophies wins, followed by whoever has the highest friendship meter, followed by whoever has the most resources being the tiebreakers. So going after somebody is not really going to win you the game per se, because the ways you earn trophies is like, one of them is, these parts remind you a little bit of Scythe, where it's like getting your friendship track all the way up, getting your pie track all the way up, upgrading your actions, or getting a certain amount of quests done.
There's not very many rules to this.
No, there isn't. It's a very simple game.
That's nice. Like, I mean, it's nice that they could condense the rules down to make them more easily absorbed.
Right. So that, yeah, like that, I've been kind of piecemealing it, but I've said most of the rules that are out there.
Yeah, so I just flipped through it real quick. I was like, oh yeah, he said that. He said that.
Yeah.
He said that.
The only piece I didn't explain is there's a castle in the middle, and unlike regular Scythe, you can't just go into the castle whenever you want. Going into the castle is an action to deliver a certain amount of goods. So it's almost a pickup and delivery aspect of, but that's how one of the trophies is by delivering 4 gems or delivering 4 apples to the castle, you get a trophy.
Okay.
Huh.
So, Don't know where I stand on this game. Well, I'm keeping it. That's for certain. I like it.
Does it replace Scythe for you?
Oh, heck no. But, and it's not necessarily one of those games I'm going to pull out all the time.
Okay.
But there is a specific section of my library that I've kept and games that don't get touched purely on the sense of if I ever enter the chance where there's a child in the house that I have to entertain.
Or let me ask this. If you were going to somewhere where you knew there weren't going to be people that are into games.
Oh, yes.
And you wanted a Scythe kind of itch scratch.
Yes. This will
Okay.
totally. So that's the other aspect about it. When I played it with Corey and Jimmy, and also with Ashley, is it's a very relaxing type of game. Like it's not a brain burny kind of game. You can just kind of go with the flow and just do whatever on my turn. I'm just going to do something. You don't have to it's a very casual, it's got some meatier mechanics to it than like another child's game.
Yeah.
But it's also not very complicated to where you can just kind of on your turn figure out what you're going to do and that sort of thing. So it's not a very I don't know how else to better to say it. The only downside is depending on the theme is either going to turn off or on some people. Because my dad saw this and was like, my dad is the person I play Scythe with.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, I'm not playing that.
Get that out of my face.
Yeah. Whereas my mom and Ashley are like, oh, that's cute. I'd play that.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see families and stuff playing this if you have kids at all and like Scythe, but not necessarily this isn't a kiddie game. I would put this this is the way that I play Haba games. That's what this kind of fills that same niche where it's a kid's game without being a kid's game.
Well, I mean, the age limit, it does say 8+.
Right.
So.
Yeah, this isn't a my first.
Yeah.
This isn't a I'm gonna play this with my 3-year-olds kind of game.
This is a game you can play with kids without losing your mind.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of where I'm at.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah, this is my first time really having a game trays game.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it yet because some of the especially when you stand it up and shake it around, some of the pieces will fall out and all over the place.
Yeah, I noticed when I was pulling that one.
I don't know, but I found it was after the first time I played. I noticed that they say you should put the player boards underneath the plastic covering, and I was like, oh yeah, that would help it not be mixed up as much.
The arrangement of the one in Euphoria is pretty good. Nothing really spills out in that one.
That one takes up.
I don't have the version that has the game trays in it.
Yeah, we finally took the plunge and got Euphoria, I think last year.
Yeah, it was actually about a year ago at this point.
It was I heard about the game trays. It was like, you got gift card money, let's use it.
Yeah.
Yep, I was so excited when I got that.
So yeah, definitely if you're a fan of Scythe and have that need for something
family friendly,
then yeah, I would definitely pick this up, especially if you like the minis are adorbs.
They are adorable.
I like that. Designed by Hobie Chow?
Mm-hmm.
And with daughter, Vienna Chow.
Well, yeah, have you heard the...
Yeah, I had heard about it was
they made
My Little Pony themed.
Yeah, it
originally.
was the reason the name was My Little Scythe because it was Scythe, these mechanics, but skinned with My Little Pony.
Yeah, I had never seen something like that on the front of a box.
Yeah,
with daughter.
Yeah, and
so
then
that was cool to see.
And then when Stonemaier officially picked it up, they reskinned it to kind of generic woodland critters.
Mm-hmm.
So
because I'm sure My Little Pony's copyright.
Well, it is, and that's Hasbro, and you'd have to pay quite a penny for that license.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So
the next game that we have is Snowman Dice by Brain Games. So we had Genius Games, and now we have Brain Games. So
I'm excited for this.
We
like Brain Games here.
Yeah. So this is it's kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call it a full-on game. It's more so just it's an activity, I think, in a way.
It's a speed dice rolling game is what it is.
Okay, fine. Anyway, so...
It's a time killer.
So basically the way this works is you are building up snowmen and you're trying to move them to the North Pole. So every player has 5 dice, And the North Pole is like a little tiny, it's a circular, like, I don't know, it's thicker than transparency, but
it's just plastic.
Yeah, it's a little plastic circle with the North Pole on it. And so everybody has 5 dice, and you're simultaneously rolling them and trying to construct snowmen. So the dice each have, there's 6-sided dice, and they have a head, a snowflake, a middle part of the body, a bottom part of the body, an arrow, and a snowball on them. And so what you're doing to construct a snowman, you can use 3 dice, obviously, for a snowman, and you can use any of the, you have to have one of each of the 3 parts of the body of a snowman, or any combination of parts of the body and snowflakes. The snowflakes act as wilds. Once you've constructed a snowman, you have to roll an arrow, and the arrow allows you to slide your snowman across the table to the North Pole, and if your snowman gets to the North Pole, then you get points.
If you're the first
If you're the first one to get there. If it's an accurately constructed snowman, so each of the 3 body parts, you get 2 points for it. If it's a snowman that has any of the snowflakes in it, then it's only 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is not as easy as you would think just to slide that to the center, because the snowballs, your opponents can flick at your snowman to try and knock them over on the way to the North Pole. So, as you're, frantically trying to push your snowman, people are flicking snowballs and your dice go flying, and oh my gosh, it is so chaotic.
We have potentially a cat sitting on the keyboard that controls the stream. So
and so, that's basically the game. The first person to the 3 points is the winner. So it's very simple and very quick.
Yeah.
And
a 2-player game probably lasts 5 minutes.
not even.
I almost
Not
sound like
even.
I wouldn't even try and build the snowman. I just want to flick people's
Yeah, you could just roll a whole bunch of snowballs and pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then you got to go get your dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So the fun thing is,
I love it
when
comes
you're,
in a snowball, basically.
it does come in a snowball, yeah. It's like a little, I can't think of what this is called.
It's a little pouch that's almost like
it's
Happy
like
Salmon, but in a snowball.
Oh, yeah. It is kind of
It's
like
like
that fabric-y.
neoprene.
Yes, style feeling. Anyway, it's so fun because at the beginning of the round, or after somebody's gotten a snowman to the center, when you start to roll your dice, you go 1, 2, 3, snow, and then everybody rolls their dice for the first time, and you can keep rolling until you have what you need.
Right.
So that's kind of cool. But
I don't know how it, because I like the concept, but I also typically hate real-time dice rolling games.
it could be kind of stressful. I did really well. Oh, look, that was a really good roll. Boop, boop, boop. Oops. If
And
you
I'm
knock
assuming
your
if
own
you're-
snowman
yeah.
over on the way to the North Pole, then you have to start over.
That's what I
rebuild
was.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, this is the fastest playing real-time dice game that we've played.
Oh,
really.
yeah, for sure.
And
It's so quick. It's so fun. It's so chaotic.
only word I heard was snowball.
It's the only words you needed to hear.
So yeah, 5-minute game for the stress level is I
5 minutes to play, 5 minutes to review.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say about this?
What do you think of the game?
I like it. I remember what I was gonna say. It fits in that same category as the Roll for Your Life Candyman.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like almost like a condensed version of that.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh. That's true.
Like even though that's already a condensed version of another game,
Right.
Run for Your Life Candyman. This is like, yeah, that took it from probably a 40-minute game down to a 15-minute game. This takes a 15-minute game down to a 3 to 5 minute game.
I mean, this does have different goals to it, whereas Roll for Your Life, you're trying
I was
to...
just saying it's like speed dice rolling
Yeah.
for certain combinations.
True. Okay, yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a dexterity element to this. What kind of in Roll for Your Life you have to be the first to grab
Philip
candy
would hate
cane.
it because it's got flicking involved.
Yeah.
Well-
so I was glad he's not here.
I will say I've never ever successfully knocked someone over with my snowball. I've just won the game because I'm really good avoiding snowballs and getting to the North
When
Pole.
we played 3-player, you didn't want to be the first to push a snowman out because you were going to get taken out.
Yes.
So he wanted to wait for that person to get taken out, then go.
It's funny because
Yeah.
every time I see you pushing that and moving, I just keep thinking of Bermuda Pirates.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's one we need to play again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Snowman Dice, especially for the size package, it's
so
definitely
tiny. I
worth
love it.
keeping around.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice, fun
And I think there's enough dice in here to
This
do
is probably
up
a
to
good kids
5?
game too.
4, I think.
4.
This is probably a good kids game too.
Yeah. The dice are big enough they won't be shoved up any noses, so you could probably go pretty young with it.
I'm just trying to see how many dice are in here.
It's 20 dice.
So that'll be
Oh.
4 players.
Oh my gosh, I could have just looked that up, couldn't I? Yep, 20 dice. Oops.
Now that I've made my mess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fun game.
Fun. What's something that's like... What's something that's faster than a filler game?
I don't know.
Ultra filler? I don't know.
Ultra filler.
I don't
Ultra
know.
tiny epic. That's what they do for those. Yeah.
Snowman Dice, bring games.
Starter game.
Yeah. Just if you need a little perk up in your like 24-hour marathon,
Yeah,
like play
it's
a quick
a caffeine shot.
Yeah.
Game. All right, and with that, is that it? Is that all we got?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, Sandy, why don't you tell people about why they should back us on Patreon?
So, we like to produce content for you all, and we would like to produce better content for you all. So, if you want to hear better content, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, obviously, if you back us on Patreon, we'll have, some funds and things to improve our quality of our show and whatnot, but you'll also potentially get some bonus content, which is super exciting. We got some fun stuff in the works. And then if you back us even just at the dollar level, we so appreciate all the support that anybody, gives us. And we have shout outs to people, and we can make fun of your favorite game. You could potentially, get some dice that are specific to our podcast. They're really
Custom dice.
Custom dice, thank you. Couldn't think of the word. And they're really cute I shouldn't say cute from last year. They're really nice from last year. They're like this beautiful greeny gold color. Oh, I love them. And then they're just good fun stuff. We got some bonus content for you all that only Patreons get access to.
Yeah,
which is exciting.
we've actually
Slack
been
channel.
getting
Oh yeah,
into
the
that.
Slack channel.
Yep.
But yeah, so even just $1 a month is so appreciated. I mean, if you want to do more, then we will gladly accept your money. But we love and appreciate all of our patrons and all of our listeners too. Even if you can't afford to support us, we appreciate that you listen to us and enjoy our content.
I'm wondering if this year, because it was kind of a bog when we did like all 50 games broke out over. It just also took a while to the point by the time we got to the end, the games list had changed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it had.
But I'm wondering if we just do a bunch of recordings for Patreon members.
Oh,
for
of our
the
top 50.
for the 20 through 50,
Oh.
or 11 through 50, I guess would be the best.
And
way.
then
Yeah.
so just do top 10 here on our
Yeah.
show.
Well, that's
I
what we
like
did
that.
last year,
Okay.
Yeah,
I
let us
like
know
that
what you
idea.
and then we could record them all at once and then just chop them up. And,
Mhm. Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah.
and with that, it's time for my turn to do games, which means this
The game show.
This game show is probably going to suck.
I
But
was wondering where the coins were.
Theme song.
but I will say, I decided to tackle this a little differently. In that, first of all, I gave you hints on what it was going to be about.
Yeah.
Secondly, so last time the game show was really good, and that was because you went to your strengths, which was singing.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, where's my strength at? So I made a game all about puns,
Ah,
Nice.
yes.
which is why you didn't hear any puns in the news intro.
You
didn't
even
devoted all your
notice.
energy to this.
I didn't even notice, Chris.
So I have 5 games here, and I have 3 puns for each game,
And we have to figure out which game it is.
and you have to figure out the game it is by the pun.
Oh.
And
fun.
as a general rule, I think I did this my best. The puns will get easier the more it takes.
Okay,
And you will get
yeah.
more points the less
Puns it takes.
So if you get it right on the first one, It's 3 points.
So are we buzzing in or something?
Yeah, we're gonna do buzzwords.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
If you get it right on the first one, you're gonna get 3 points. 2 points for this if you get the second one, and if it takes you all 3, you only get a point.
Oh no. Okay.
My hope is that by the time you get to the third one, it'll be fairly obvious what it is.
I'm saying oh no because Colin is gonna like.
Well, we looked at the list today this morning.
We did,
Yeah.
but
So that was the other thing.
you're-
These are
you're-
all of these games were as of Wednesday on the BGG hotness.
Mm.
So
in the. I think you sent us the top 20.
I don't
in the
remember how many.
hotness?
It was what was
I
visible
think
on
it's
the
25.
It was whatever was visible on the BGG page, like how many of the hotness it shows.
Okay, like on the homepage.
Yep. So, Colin, what is your buzzword?
I'm going to go with snowball.
Okay.
Dice.
Dice. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Game number 1. My experience is that you'll never mech it through this game.
Dice.
What? Okay, Cindy.
Wait.
You buzzed in.
You'll never make it through this game. Oh shoot.
My experience is you'll never mech it through this game.
I forgot
Snowball.
What?
Is it Scythe?
Yes, it's
No, that's what I was gonna say, but then I was like, no, wait.
I couldn't
That's-
remember if it was on the list. We
That's why I
there were
was
certain ones we
hesitating.
didn't actually look at because
We
we're
knew
like,
what they
we know that
were.
one. We know that one.
Okay.
Oh shoot!
Well, now I'm gonna read-
I should have just
I gotta-
said it because
I
that's
gotta
what I
read-
was thinking. But then wait, I was
Read
like,
the
wait,
rest
are
of
there
them.
mechs in Scythe?
There are.
Stupid.
The number of times this game will hex you is vast.
Mm.
Some of these I threw in as they may have multiple meanings to kind of throw you off.
Yeah.
And then one might say it was on a rise in 2018.
Nice.
Also, there was a hidden pun in
Oh,
there
rise
that you
offenders.
didn't get to, but the first word of each one of those was my number 1.
What?
Because it was my experience is, and then number of times this game will, and one might say.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
Okay. This game was routed as having a great production. You know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to read each one twice and automatically move to the next one.
Okay.
And then that way we can A, get through them, and B, that way it
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
puts
it
you on a
makes
timer
sense.
a little bit.
Yeah,
I like that.
that.
So, this game was routed as having a great production. You might find this game on a sale. Like, you might find this game on a sale. Or you'll brew the day that you play this game. You'll brew the day that you play this game. Route,
know.
sale, and brewing. Nothing?
Of what we looked at, no. It's,
I don't know. I have no idea.
Terraforming Mars. Sorry, Snowball.
It was Brass Birmingham.
Oh.
Sorry. I don't know anything about that game. Really.
Okay, next one.
I know the theming, but I
This
just
was where
didn't
it was
pick.
kind of like, you were like, how much do we need? I'm like, I can't really tell you how much you need.
Yeah.
You just need to be familiar with the game.
Mhm.
Okay. Many people have pledged to find this game at some point.
Dice?
Okay.
Gloomhaven?
No.
Oh, darn.
Many people have pledged to find this game at some point. Con season will be a golden time to try out this game. Con season will be a golden time to try out this game. Don't be guarding your wallet too much and purchase this game.
Oh,
Dice?
Tangarden. Ah, dang it.
Tangarden.
Yes.
Snowball.
So it was a Kickstarter that's pledged.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it was based on the Golden Dynasty, or one
Yes,
of the Golden
yes.
Ages of...
That was one we looked at today.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he said the garden thing, I was like, oh, wait. But then you yelled out it before.
Yeah, I yelled out the wrong word.
Okay. So we're almost there. We're getting there.
Okay.
This game didn't kickstart gamers' fascination with space games.
Dice!
Snowball.
That was
Okay,
Cindy.
yeah.
On Mars.
No.
Darn it.
Terraforming Mars.
No. This game didn't kickstart gamers' fascination with space games, or there are many components that you'll need to play this game. There are many components that you'll need to play this game. Or this game will be quite alien to Colin and Cindy.
Dice.
Yes.
Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you were like saying Manny or Mini.
It was mini as in minis.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been trying to emphasize the word that's got the pun in
yeah,
it.
I got that, but
I get that too, but I didn't.
I wasn't sure if I was hearing the right way. I was like,
Gotcha.
and then when I thought you said mini, my brain went a total different direction. I was thinking, I was talking about ultra tiny epic galaxies. Like, wait, no, that came out a while ago, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the hotness thing.
All right, last one.
Okay.
Okay.
For Christmas, you might get this game, or you might get some coal. For Christmas, you might get this game, or you might get some coal. You'll spend some coin on this game. You'll spend some coin on this game. You might have a runaway leader problem in this game. You might have... Come on!
Oh, it's a snowball.
Yes.
Root.
Yes.
What?
Leader games.
Oh.
You might have to spend some coin, so it's a counterinsurgency coin game.
Oh.
And you might get this game with some coal. It was designed by Cole Hurley?
All info. I'm not... Sorry.
I
mean, I know
got
the
it the
leader
first time you
games,
said the leader games one. The
Yeah.
first time you said it, but I was just like, I went through my head saying, was that on the list? So that was my hang up.
I didn't know those. So I liked it. Sorry.
Well, there you go. That was my attempt.
I liked it.
If you were dealing with people that were more in the know, then
This is why I gave you the list.
no,
Well,
no,
we
like
did-
yeah,
we looked at
you
it. We
gave us
did.
yeah, but we were like, okay, we know that game, we don't need to read that. We know that game, we don't need to read that. So we only read like maybe half the game.
The ones I got were ones we read today.
But hey, I got 4 points.
I got 2. I should have just said Scythe for the first one because that's what I was thinking. I don't know why.
And I didn't really penalize you if you got it like like I just kept,
Right.
you could have answered again anyways. So.
True.
Oh, I like that system.
I might have to change that up for next time.
It was. I liked it though.
I'm glad. I had fun writing these.
Good.
It was good. I think it's worth another try
Uh huh.
with maybe no modifications.
I might have to theme it. I don't know.
Mm.
That might get too hard if I theme it towards a specific type of game.
Yeah, special episodes for when Philip's not here.
I don't know. If I gave him a list, no, he wouldn't look at it.
No.
Just happy to be here, Alex. I could just imagine that.
Maybe I'll do this again when it comes time for the top 10 games.
Oh, with your top 10?
Maybe.
That'd be fun.
Maybe. All right. What? With that, let's roll that beautiful beam footage. All right, I got to do Philip's piece in here. But that wraps up this week's episode. If you want to watch the show live, we typically record every other Wednesday. I didn't update the calendar this week, but boardsandswords.com/live. If you scroll down, there is a schedule. I also think it's on the main Boards and Swords page on the sidebar. And it also has the link to all of our live streaming channels. So you can follow us on Facebook, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, wherever you like to watch the show. However, if you like this show, you need to go check out our other show, Dirtbags of Holding, where we're currently in the midst of playing a D&D 5th edition campaign where the entire crew is playing as halflings. That was recommended by our listener, Beetle. And so, yeah, Dirtbags of Holding, we play on the off weeks, where we play RPGs in the worst way possible.
So if you like this show, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/boardsandswords. And we're actually trying to get a little bit more active in our podcast community group that we have. So when you go to facebook.com/boardsandswords, toward the top of our page, there's a link that says visit group. Go there, join, like the group too, and we can have some discussions and share some fun stuff together. And you can also find us Well, we're not terribly active on Instagram, but we do have an Instagram. Instagram is Boards and Swords Pod, but you can follow our individual accounts on Instagram, which we are more active on. And I am Cindy Pastorius on Twitter and Instagram.
I am ColdCakes196.
And I'm Chris the Prof on Twitter and Instagram.
And we are also a part of the Dice Tower Network, which has a lot of different gaming podcasts, which you should recommend us instead of these other ones. But you should go listen to them. It's like, they're still there. And the network is supported a lot by Cool Stuff Inc. You can go to coolstuffinc.com and check out all their great gaming deals on games and gaming stuffs at coolstuffinc.com.
And thank you for listening. Once again, you can go check out patreon.com/boards and swords to help support the show. We'll be back in less than 2 weeks with another great show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and this one was rather fun. Oh, I love the timing there.
Perfect timing.
I say that every time it does, but
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's over.
See ya.
Yeah, I actually saw the time this time. It's like it ends like at 10 seconds. And so the rest is just like a fade off.
Yeah.